Episode 300. The Blade Masters upward/missed, but Zhang Xinji had already laid out the follow-up plan. Although the striker wasn't rescued, he still proceeded with the plan. His feet touched the bank, and the Blade Master leapt into the air. A flash of sword light descended, a silver light fall as he shot straight for the opposite shore. That cluster of sacred fire forced Liu Mu and his crew to scatter, but for tyrannical ambition, it provided the perfect cover. At the same time, he heard Zhang Xinji shout,
"Not yet,
"What?" The Blade Master cried out in shock, but it was too late. He was already flying over the riverbank. As his silver light fall slashed down, he saw Liu Mu hop backward, deftly dodging the shockwave from his landing. Then, he saw another shockwave suddenly erupt from under Liu Mu's feet.
What was that?"
In his shock, the Blade Master's character was sent tumbling backward by the shockwave.
Silver light, blade drop, too. Did he jump? Why didn't I see that?
100 question marks filled the Blade Master's mind, but it didn't change the fact he'd been knocked flat. He immediately tried to perform a quick recover, but one look at his landing spot made him want to weep. His landing point was clearly the lava as well. What was the point of using quick recover now? A hapless striker was already floundering in the lava. Now the Blade Master could only watch helplessly as he joined him. The two of them flailed in the lava, burning, desperately trying to scramble back to shore. But the three shameless bastards on the opposite bank just stood there, not attacking, simply holding their skills, waiting for them to come tumbling down. Feints and fake-outs were utterly useless. Their opponents seemed to see right through their every intention and move, simply waiting with chilling patience for them to burn to death in the lava. Flickering flames and healing light shimmered across their bodies. On the opposite shore, Ye Weiyang kept healing the two of them, but how could this last? Zhang Xinji was actually hoping the three on the other side would take advantage of the cleric being alone and come cause trouble for him. Instead, the three of them completely ignored him, just standing on the bank and swaying along with the Blade Master and striker below. Where's the sharpshooter and the mage? Zhang Xinji's heart sank. He desperately needed backup, but he was too swamped to even keep track of those two. But when he swung his view around, Zhang Xinji was utterly crushed. Jiang Yu's Elementalist ID is really fitting. Loves a good scuffle. He really did just come to this fight to watch the show. He'd already run into the lava to join the fray. And the sharpshooter. At the very instant Zhang Xinji's view swung around. Perfect timing. Lord Grimm grabbed him, and with a perfect throw, tossed him right into the lava. Jiang Yu's love of a good show was still trying to jump up, but a smoke shell from Uncle Feng on the opposite bank hit him square in the face, leaving him blackened and smoking. Jiang Yu's love to join. The fun was back in the lava again. Thus, 4 of Tyrannical Ambition's 5 players were left floundering in the lava. They knew they needed to get out fast, but Lord Grimm and his crew had them pinned down, making escape impossible. Tactics. Zhang Xinji had been watching his opponent's positioning, his movements, his judgment, but now looking back, did the other side even have a strategy? It seems there wasn't one at all. From start to finish, they just charged in and improvised on the spot. Lord Grimm and this Liu Mu, both of them are clearly a cut above Jiang Yu and his crew. That launcher can't be underestimated either. His crowd control and teamwork are top-notch. As for that Lingling Sha, or whatever, they've got everyone walking on eggshells. But what has this person actually done? Not a thing. At least that steamed bun invasion guy threw a couple of bricks and flung some sand. This Lingling Sand just followed the group, going east when they went east, west when they went west. Pure coasting, absolute dead weight. If the other side had a strategy, it was a star player strategy. Whatever tactics or playstyle you've got, I've got 2 freaks here who've already got you all figured out. A terrifying thought had already formed in Zhang Xinji's mind. It was perfectly logical, yet he could scarcely believe it. Zhang Xinji knew the skill level of Jiang Yu and his crew inside and out. It's common sense for a club to scout talent from the online game. Their own guild naturally had the inside tracked. As the strongest players in the Tyrannical Ambition Guild, Jiang Yu and his crew had naturally caught the team's eye. They were noticed but never received an invitation to join. It also showed that the 4 of them weren't quite at a professional level, and they didn't have much room left to grow. But Zhang Xinji remained clear-headed. While the 4 weren't at a pro level, they weren't so weak as to be casually bullied either. But now, The four of them were flailing helplessly in the lava, completely at the mercy of their opponents. Zhang Xinji, however, was at a complete loss. After all, he was just a cleric. And now that he was being selectively ignored, what else could he possibly do? He refused to give up, continuing to heal the four in the lava, racking his brains for a solution. The four in the lava were really trying their hardest, each one having jumped countless times. But those standing on the shore, Lord Grim, Lu Mu, Steamed Bun Invasion, and even Windward Formation had them all perfectly covered. They'd tried it all, concentrating their forces, splitting up, feinting east to strike west, creating diversions and bluffing. But it was useless. The four of them remained standing waist-deep in the molten rock, watching helplessly as their life force was slowly scorched away. The Zhang Xinji they had placed such high hopes in, after several failed tactical commands, could only have his character Ye Huaiyang running back and forth. Seeing this, the four of them understood the situation. Even Zhang Xinji was out of ideas. But seeing Zhang Xinji still using his healing spells to keep them going, the four of them, though utterly disheartened, refused to give up. They gritted their teeth and kept trying everything they could.
Run. Get as far away as you can.
Scatter, Zhang Yu yelled. The sharpshooter and blade master on his flanks each sprinted along the lava flow toward the far ends. This was a desperate, all-or-nothing move. By scattering so widely, they'd force their pursuers to spread out too if they kept up the man-to-man pressure. But they've spread out too far. Zhang Xinji's cleric can't possibly cover them all. Any character who doesn't get a reply, if they can't jump out of the lava on their own, will just burn to death in there. But what other choice did they have? Without a word, the four of them began to spread out to either side, just as Zhang Yu intended. In a flash, the two players on the flanks had moved beyond Ye Huaiyang's healing range. With their formation broken, any coordinated teamwork was impossible. Now, it was every man for himself.